So we're starting with the distributive property. We're going to distribute every term to every other term. So what that means is the first term in my first binomial. All right. So as I was saying, we're going to multiply the first term times the second binomial and the second term times the second binomial. You ready? So let's try it. So we're going to multiply 2x times 3x minus 7 and plus 4 times 3x minus 7. And then just like we were doing yesterday, now I can distribute that monomial to the binomial. You ready? So we have 2x times 3x. 2 times 3 is 6. And x times x is x squared. Beautiful. Then I have 2x times negative 7. 2 times negative 7, negative 14, and then x. Perfect. All right, in the second binomial. 4 times 3x.
12.
12x. 4 times negative 7. Negative 28. Do I have any like terms to combine? 14x and 12x, right? So what is negative 14 plus 12?
Negative 2.
Negative 2x. Good teamwork. And I'm going to bring down my first and last terms. That is your answer. That's it.
Is this your favorite or which one?
This one, in all honesty, is my favorite because in a few weeks, we're going to be talking about quadratic trinomials, quadratics, parabolas, and I'm going to ask us to factor them, and by factor I mean we're going to write them as two binomials, like this. And this, sometimes, this is one of the methods for factoring.
This is going to be on the star.
Yes, ma'am. Good question. So this, honestly, I think is my favorite method. To be quite honest, every method I'm going to show you today, it's the same thing, just presented in a different way. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want you guys to try this one. I'm going to zoom out so that you can see everything. I want you to multiply x minus 3 times 2x plus 5 using the same method we just did. All right. So we set it up. We're going to multiply x times 2x. So that coefficient of my first monomial there is 1. So 1 times 2 is 2. And x times x is x squared. Perfect. And x times 5 is
5x.
plus 5x. All right. Negative 3 times 2x.
Negative 6x.
Negative 6x. Perfect. And negative 3 times 5. Negative 15. All right. So here in the middle, I've got like terms at 5x minus 6x. What's 5 minus 6?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. And then bring down my other two terms.
So negative 1 minus 2x.
What do we think?
I thought it was like, oh.
It's not too bad? Yes.
Okay, so we got 2x.
Squared. Because x times x is x squared.
Okay, so now.
And x times 5, you need 5x. You need to make sure that you're bringing that
Wait,
x.
wait.
Then you can combine. All right. So we need to have a conversation later about multiplying monomials. You're having trouble with the monomials. All right. Let's try method 2. Y'all ready for method 2?
This was distributing.
Yes, this was the distributive property. Method 1, I'm just calling it method 1, 2, and 3 because that's the order I'm showing them to you. The numbers there have no significant meaning other than like example 1, example 2, example 3. So I am going to refer to this as the distribution method, not method number 1. Okay? All right. The second method is the table or the box method. I've heard some people refer to it as the table method. I will be referring to it as the box method. The box method, I'm going to be completely honest, is my least favorite method. Most students prefer this method, and that's okay. The great thing about this method is it's actually got a great application into biology. Later this year, when you guys talk about dominant and recessive genes, you'll be using a method similar to this to determine genetic properties of flowers and such. I think it's flowers y'all usually do. I forget. So some people in first period told me that they saw this a little bit last year in science class. I'm going to show you how to use it right now. You ready? So we're just doing the one on the left for now. Don't worry about the problem on the right. We're going to talk about this x minus 3 times 4x minus 5. And I drew a 3 by 3 box here. You ready?
Shine the box.
Okay. So in the box, we will not need that top left corner. Nothing goes in the top left corner. Okay?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that first binomial, x minus 3. I'm going to put each term in a box at the top. So I have x and then minus 3. So each term goes in a box. And then I'm going to do the same with the second term. I have 4x minus 5, so I'm going to put one term in each box.
Wait, why do we use left?
Why would it be 4x? Why can't it just be 4 and then another
Because
one?
4x is a term.
This is way more complicated.
For some people, it seems that way, yes. So like I said, I want you to try it today.
I like this.
If you don't like it, you won't have to use it. But I want to give everyone an opportunity to use the method that makes the most sense to them, okay? Every method I'm showing you today is doing the same thing. Like I said, it's just presented in a different way. And some of us, the box method helps us organize all of the terms. That's all we're doing is I'm organizing the terms. So now what I'm going to do, this is just like the distribution method. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take x and I'm going to multiply it. I should point here. I'm going to take this x and I'm multiplying it to both of the terms in that second binomial here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say x times 4x is 4x squared.
Oh, I see.
So it's just another way of organizing what we just did. And then again, x times negative 5 is negative 5x. Because there's only one x there, right? Because see, negative 5 doesn't have an x, so there's only one x. All right, then again with negative 3. I have negative 3 times 4x, negative 12x. And finally, negative 3 times negative 5,
15.
positive 15. Beautiful. So now everything, and I wrote mine here in red so that it would be a little different. Everything here in these bottom right 4 boxes, that's my answer. So I'm going to write it out. So I've got 4x squared minus 5x minus 12x plus 15. That's okay. Like I said, I just want you to try it. And if you prefer a different method, you're more than welcome to use it.
Kind of like distributive.
It is. It is. So do I have any like terms?
Yes.
Right here in the middle. So negative 5 minus 12 is negative 17x, and I'm going to bring down my other two terms. All right. I want you to try that second example. 2x plus 1 times x minus 4 using the box method. We're going to review it in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fill in my box. So I'm not using that top left box. What did y'all put in the top row?
2x.
2x
And then
and 1.
Oh,
And then in the left column,
x.
and negative 4. Beautifully done. So now I'm going to multiply. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 4.
Negative 8x.
Beautiful. Then 1 times x. It's x. 1 times negative 4. Negative 4. So I'm going to write down my answer here. I've got 2x squared minus 8x plus 1x minus 4. Very good. I was looking at it upside down. I could be wrong. So I can combine. What's negative 8 plus 1? Perfect. Piece of cake?
I put 1x. Is that fine? Instead of x.
Oh, right here you put a 1x? Like that? No, that's beautiful. Good, because that's a good reminder, like how am I going to combine these? Very good, very good. All right.
Wait. I just want to.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. So check your work, make sure you got all your steps. We've got one more method. One more method. No? Well, the last method generally is the most popular, and I think it's because it's highly encouraged by a lot of teachers. There's an acronym, and I know you guys are pretty good at acronyms, so it's an easy way to remember what to do. But again, we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing, it just looks a little different. You ready? Okay. The last method is called the FOIL method. And FOIL is an acronym that stands for the steps in this method. Okay? So F stands for the first two terms. So you multiply the first two terms together. And I'm going to show you what all this means and give you an example in just a moment. Okay? Sorry, I was going to spell FOIL wrong. O stands for the outside two terms. I stands for the inside two terms. Caitlin, did you have a guess as to what L stood for? Oh, I thought I heard you say it.
Line.
Last. We're going to talk about the last two terms.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought I heard you say it. That's why I picked on you. Sorry, dear. Last. All right, I'm going to kind of draw a diagram here that kind of demonstrates this. You ready?
We have to draw everything.
Yeah. It's a good thing to have. So I'm just going to have like an example product of two binomials. Like A plus B times C plus D. You ready? You ready? You got this. So like I said, F stands for first, right? So you're going to multiply A times C. That's your first. A times D. Oh, hold on. Hands to yourselves. The outside two terms. It's going to be a lot of letters and a lot of lines. Hold on. I the inside two terms.
Emmanuel.
And L, the last two terms.
Did you just say L?
L, like last. All right. I've heard this referred to also as the smiley face method because if you'll notice, your binomials look like the eyes. You have some eyebrows, a nose, and a smile.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
I mean, I see the nose and the eyebrows, but I don't see the eyes.
Eyes. All right.
Emmanuel.
So like I said, this is just another method. If you think back to the distribution method, it's the same thing because you're multiplying. Oh, I'm going to pause here. So like I said, this is like the distribution method because, remember, I'm multiplying that first term A times both parts of the second binomial, and that second term B times both parts of that second binomial. It's just another way, another visual way of doing it. So let's use this method to multiply 5x minus 3 times 2x plus 1. You ready? Okay. So I'm going to do each step in a different color. You ready? All right. So first, 5x times 2x is 10x squared.
Can we do it like on top of the, like how?
Yeah, you can write it there.
Okay.
You might run out of space though.
Okay.
So if you do write it,
Plus three.
here, let me write it back here. Less you do. So what Jules was asking is, couldn't you write it up here? Yes. Just be sure you write neatly and can find it. Okay. O, outside. 5x times 1 is 5x.
It's not 5x. Oh,
Because there's no other x. It's just 5x. Good eye. Shh. I inside. Negative 3 times 2x.
6x?
Negative 6x. Perfect. And L, last. Negative 3 times 1. Negative 3. All right. So do we have any like terms I can combine? The x's. 5x minus 6x gives me what?
1x. Negative 1x.
Negative 1x. Good teamwork.
And then you just do the negative 3 in the back and then 10.
You got it. That's your answer.
This one's alright. What?
All right. So we've got the next problem I want you to try. 2x minus 2 times x plus 4. I want you to solve this one using the FOIL method. 2x minus 2 times x plus 4.